Hello and welcome back to another video today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to take a look at the two Ferrari road cars that have recently been added as part of the Italian Exotics car pack, those being this Ferrari Roma and this Ferrari 296 GTB. These are just two of the 7 cars available in the new Italian Exotics paid pack. The easiest way to get it is to go to any festival, go to buy and sell, go to car packs, and then go on the Italian Exotics car pack, which includes these 7 cars. It's priced at what I think is a very reasonable $7.99. It is slightly more than the previous car pack that was introduced a few updates ago, but then this has 7 cars where that only had 4. So I think it is worthwhile, although, yeah, the question still remains whether we should be charged for things, especially if we've already bought the Ultimate Edition, but I'll leave that decision up to you guys. For me personally, I think it is worth it, because there are some fantastic cars in this pack. Let's start with an overview of the Roma then, as it's the least interesting of the two, and I think actually quite a boring car. Yes, it has over 600 horsepower and over 750 torques from a 3.9 litre V8, but to me it just looks like a Ferrari traced to Jaguar F-Type, and quite badly at that, which does have similar stats to this car, but the Jag I think looks slightly better than this copy, and, well, it's a Jag, and it's probably more suited to being a GT, which is what both of these, well, the Jag and this are designed for. And it won't have a stupid piece of active aero on the boot that looks ridiculous, and anyway, I could go on. As you can tell, I'm not really a fan of this car. It does come in a lovely green colour though, it's quite fun to drive in Forza, and although it's fast, I was also surprised to find that it's S1 830 rated from standard here in Forza Horizon 5. Anyway, that's probably enough about the Roma, on to the more interesting of the two Ferrari editions. The 296 GTB, the controversial new 3-litre 6-cylinder Ferrari that has hybrid, much like a LaFerrari. The lack of cylinders isn't noticeable in the stats or performance though, because the 296 produces over 800 horsepower and 900 torques from that engine, with the help of that hybridness that I mentioned, but still pretty impressive stats. I have to admit I wasn't actually interested in this car either really before seeing it in here, and thought it was also quite a boring new Ferrari, which I wasn't really a fan of, particularly the way it looks. I thought it was very similar in kind of bland way that it is to every other Ferrari. But having seen it in this game, and driven it as well, I now rather like it. I think it looks pretty good actually. And it has such a sharp turn into corners, particularly I noticed when driving it. It almost catches you out sometimes with how precisely it turns in. But once you get used to it, it is super fun to drive in here. We actually had quite a fun race in these on Friday evening on stream around the Estadio circuit. So yeah, super fun car to drive. I obviously have no idea if that's the same in reality, but here in Forza at least it is great fun. This being a more powerful mid-engine Ferrari though, it is rated even higher than the Roma at S2892 from standard. Both cars though are rather heavy for performance cars, I think, at over 1500 kilos each from standard. I mean, maybe, I think that is just the way cars are going these days, so it's probably not really too bad, but it seems a little bit heavy for a sports car. I suppose that's not really what they are. Anyway, time to go and show you the customization and upgrade options for these two cars. In terms of customization and upgrades, neither of them have all that much being Ferraris. There are a few manufacturer colours for the Roma. There's a silver, a yellow, a dark blue, red of course, and a dark green, which is why I've gone for the green. That's my personal favourite. And there are no advanced painting groups. There are, though, a few engine swaps. One of them, rather amusingly, is a V10 from a Lamborghini, but there's also a 4.5 litre V8, a 6 litre V12, and a racing V12. And an all-wheel drive swap. There's also your usual Forza aero if you want to absolutely ruin the look of this car. And other than that, it's kind of as you'd expect. You've got your tyres, tyre widths, track widths, all that sort of stuff. You've also got your usual gearboxy things, usual platform and handling, and usual engine mods, although if you really want to, you could of course do that. Similarly for the 296 GTB, there's no advanced painting groups, but there are a few manufacturer colours. There's the kind of default Rosso Corsa red, there's the sort of darker grey, which is kind of the equivalent of the silver on the Roma, there's the slightly brighter, I think it's Rosso Dino orange, which I've gone for, partly because it's a 6-cylinder vehicle, so that kind of makes sense. Then we've got the blue, which is slightly stronger than the one on the Roma, and the yellow. Again, with upgrades, it's pretty similar. There are a few engine swaps. A V8 if you want to kind of make it more like a more traditional Ferrari, I suppose. Another V8, a racing V12, and a 6.3-litre V12 hybrid, which is, of course, from the LaFerrari. That is quite an interesting one, actually. There's, of course, all-wheel drive swap, as you would expect. Also Forza Horizon, if you want to ruin the look of this car as well. Can't think why you'd want to put that on here. Then you've got your usual tyre compounds, tyre widths, track widths, rims, gearboxy bits, handlingy bits, and engine upgrades. Again, if you really want to, you can do that. And that probably is going to do it for today's video, taking a look at the 2 Ferrari road cars from the new Italian Exotics car pack. Just like the 2 Lamborghini races we looked at the other day, given they're in S1 class, both of these, and are ridiculously fast from standard and, well, quite fun road cars to drive like that, I don't really see the benefit of upgrading them. I don't think they're going to be great for racing, either of them. Potentially the 296 might be, in S1 maybe, but I don't really like racing in categories that fast anyway. And for me, I really enjoy how these things drive as they are, so I think any upgrades would kind of ruin them. I think that is kind of the way it's going to be with this pack. All of the cars are pretty cool and pretty fun to drive, but they're not going to... You're going to ruin them if you upgrade them, because I think Ferrari and Lamborghini probably know what they're doing. Anyway, if you want to see the 2 Lamborghini racing cars, video on those went up probably yesterday at the time this releases, and I'll be back to take a look at, well, at least the 2 road-going Lamborghinis and potentially the Ital design as well, although I'm less interested in that one. But yeah, I'll be back to look at some more of the cars from this pack very soon. For now, though, for a first look at the 2 road-going Ferraris from the Italian Exotics car pack, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.